Alrighty, I am back here again with a request reaction. Air Rostov, you had 3 albums that you told me to kind of dive into, and it's been a while. The queue has definitely been hectic, but I'm still gonna do them for you. And I'm gonna go with Gillian Welch first, Paradise, and then Jean-Louis Murat will be the third one. So Gillian Welch, I don't really know much about her. All I really know is that she is like a singer-songwriter, folk artist. So we'll see what we're getting into. 2001, this is I don't feel like I know many folk artists truly from that like type of era. New German Hotel, right, that's 98. That's folk more so. Ryan Adams, I guess, is Americana-esque. But, you know, fucking Ryan Adams, man. That was the year 2000 when Heartbreaker came out. Yeah. Okay, so, but regardless, I'm kind of excited to get into this, especially too, I feel like as a singer-songwriter album, there may be some interesting lyrics on here. And you know what? I don't know what the folk instrumentation is going to be like on this album, right? It's going to be loud, it's going to be softer, more lush. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm really loving this. There's that sort of Americana aspect there. Time's the Revelator, eh? I like that little trail off with that, with the vocals. This is very clear. Wherever the studio is where they recorded this, the recording's so clear. Interesting, kind of saying like even though time's a revelator. Okay. Okay, yeah, Revelator here, this is a fantastic track. Are you even kidding me? This is fantastic. Love the length to this. Again, a song that talks about time like this, I feel like having that length, even having those transitions, you know what I mean? Like those types of acoustic solos are like taking it to that next step of it trudging along. I do find the lyric, one of the lyrics that I did think was interesting, certainly is the everyday is getting straighter. I'm in a sense of maybe thinking that when you are growing up or like getting into adult life potentially, things are a little bit more hectic, and as life moves, you know, through its time, things can get maybe a little bit more simpler, or you have an expectation maybe of what's to come. But I think that's why she is saying too, like, she's going to go to California and she's really going to live her like wildest life, almost in a sense that's like you know, I'm going to live my fullest life during this time, even when things are changing and, you know, my existential crisis with time. Time is weighing down on me. And obviously saying the Revelator is also interesting because it reveals the truth as things move forward, as things go along, things change, things become realizations. Queen of Fakes and Imitators. I do think it's interesting that she's putting that type of position too. She starts the song saying she is a pretender, and then really is honing in on that queen of fakes and imitators. I would say though that it feels like she's deflecting. Or I think another important thing to realize is that maybe who she is in her music isn't who she is on a daily life basis. You know what I mean? We don't understand what her personal struggles are, or people she has in her life, or things that she has to kind of, a role maybe she has to fill with certain people around. You know what I mean? When it's just too hard to really be able to figure things out. A relationship is just not good. A friend relationship, familial relationship, business relationship, a relationship with, you know, romantic, like, that's quite intense though, to have one song, listen to only one song on this thing. And I feel like I know already a lot about Gillian Welch, or I can kind of like think about that, where these struggles are kind of coming from. You know what I mean? You kind of feel a little bit more personal attachment with the lyrics. There is a story being told here. This is fantastic. Written by David Rollins too. I think I know that guy.
But he gets a little hazy when I think of it now.
Okay. Hazy, it's in the past. But you still feel those strong feelings, but it's like, why can I not connect them to the same way? Time, again, time is being showed here.
From my first lover. Just a record playing that old Steve Miller song.
Vocals, fantastic. Really hard on the kind of like this drum too here. Okay, My First Lover. This is a quicker track, really giving you that theme of My First Lover. Really like that hook too when it comes down to that, especially with, again, instrumentation, little like a trudging, almost like you're moving along, you know what I mean? And I think it gives that sort of like that attitude to it, you know what I mean? Like, especially like a sort of a little pissed off, but there's that pissed off anger that's still with a lot of like love and an emotion in a way, but that emotion isn't fully formed, potentially because it's just, as she's saying too at the beginning, where have those really memories gone? They're kind of hazy, so now I can get lost in my emotions with it, my imagination of those feelings of then, not completely being able to define all of those things. But you know, she ends the song too going like, and she's free though, you know what I mean? So it's not something that's going to be completely, you know, a detriment to her life, but it's still something that's in the past, right? Okay, this is awesome.
I wanna go all over the world and start living free. He's waiting.
Kind of reminds me of Wise Blood too, a little bit, to be honest with you.
I'll build a boat. I'm gonna sail along in a dream. One little star.
She's lonely though. That track listing makes sense to her.
Smiling tonight. Knows where you are. For now.
Felt sad there that I'd begun.
Hurry
choke tears.
Take me straight into the arms of my dear someone.
Take me straight into the arms of my dear someone. Yo, this is sad. Okay, yeah, I do really like this track listing to put in this song. I love this track as well. she is lonely, but I do think that she starts the song thinking about it from her perspective. It's not about finding this other person. She wants to go to the world and start living free. You know what I mean? She's not saying that she has to be in this position to be happy, right? She wants to feel all the feelings that she possibly can while she's on Earth. I do think that's kind of a position of time. But she is saying, I'll build a boat, and that becomes something connected to sailing along in dreams. So, like, she's trying to make her dreams come true, right? She is trying so hard to find something that can manifest her reality. Coming into that too, one little star, like seeing this beautiful world among her, I'm assuming, right? But I think when she's really asking for it, almost like asking for this, like almost like a Disney song too, the star is gonna come true or something like that. That didn't really make sense, but that's fine. The For Now I've Begun, like just kind of realizing now, you know what I mean, that like it really is true. You know what I mean? It really is true that you want it. You know what I mean? You can tell yourself you want it, but know that you are still a fantastic person. You can live your own life, but at the end of the day, this is a real feeling, and you're not really deflecting it with that. You know what I mean? Which is a good thing, not to be deflecting it, right? And obviously it's a beautiful thing to go like, my dear someone, you know what I mean? Like, because that also is implying that you know that there's this like capability, you know what I mean? Like, my dear someone, it is out there. There is a someone.
All the girls all dance with the boys from the city, and they don't care to dance with me. I'll do my best with the soap and the water, but the damn old dirt won't
Shows on my Sunday clothes, okay.
But when I pass through the pearly gate, my gown be gold instead, until trees and leaves and the cows are the color of the dirt on the mountainside.
This is a very much more traditional country song, I
When
feel.
I pass through the pearly gate, my gown be gold instead.
There you go.
And the rolling water is wide, but I got no boat, so I'll be good and muddy when I get to the other side.
Yeah, no, this is quite excellent too. On a lyrical front, really talking about, you know, especially applying heaven in the sense of like your gown being gold, right? Gold being something that's really expensive though, like in the sense of now it's like you're also being like it's something that's worth something in a way, I guess. Or is it just some kid's dream? You know what I mean? Kids playing, pretending as with clay or something like that. Or at least that's how I was interpreting it. And yes, this does seem in a way like, because there's that confusion, or maybe this is like another deflection potentially in the sense of where she begins the song kind of suggesting that I do all these things in my life, and it's like, oh, in a way I've been told that to be looked down upon. She's also definitely suggesting too that she's trying hard to like fulfill that image. Maybe it's not because she wants to, but because it's kind of being forced down upon her. Or when you grow up as a child and you kind of get brought into religion, right? The thing that really is intense is like the fear, you know what I mean? Like you're kind of being casted fear constantly, and then it makes you think, oh, what is this religion? You know what I mean? This is how you're kind of painting it to me, is that I'm supposed to be fearing, and that, you know, God is not going to be this forgiven person. You know what I mean? Like they like to harp on the one side and tend to not give you the other side. Her discussing like the trees and leaves and the cows are the color of the dirt on the mountainside, and then talking about mud in the beginning of that, you know, when things are getting dirty. I guess this is just trying to suggest like things become shit, like things aren't always like beautiful. I do think this is sort of potentially, I don't know if this is like an actual thing she believes, right? I just think this is a thing that she's trying to use to make sense of it all, right? Things do not work out. You know, life can be very bad. There's lots of evil people in this world. Why, like, what is this all? What is it? You know what I mean? It's one of those unanswered questions, and you know what I mean? And everyone has to have their own pathway through it. But I do think potentially that this sort of like upsetness too would have definitely come from a religious background as a child, at least.
When the iceberg hit, oh, they must have known God moves on the water like Casey Jones. It was a 5-band bill, $2 show.
Nice.
So the van out in front from Idaho.
Oh, this is amazing.
And stoned and strangely dressed, no one showed from the local press. It was the 14th day of April. Through the plastic cups, into plastic bags, and the cooks cleaned the kitchen with the staggers and the chairs.
All the work that you don't want to think about or you wouldn't put in a song or you wouldn't see in a movie, right? It's behind the scenes. Telling that story.
I went back to work and back to bed,
Life goes on and you have to sleep.
and
And
the
sometimes
iceberg broke and the Okies fled.
so I am certainly getting the idea that April the 14th is a specific day that's important to her, and this is that time where this place was closing down, and you know, I can understand or empathize with the sense that where you played in your life, you're going to have sentimental memories with it, you know what I mean? And that's a shifting time and change in life, and realizing, remembering how those days were. Your days could be great now, but regardless of that, those days were just as amazing potentially, even, you know what I mean? But this day specifically certainly is sad, and I guess having to realize that what can you do? You know what I mean? Life is sucking, but I just still have to do all these things, and here's life, right? Like Abraham Lincoln, he really saved us, you know what I mean? Like, just in the sense that all these shit things have happened in history, and life continues to go on. Not comparing this event to the same impact of greater history, right? But just in the sense that you have to go back to work and go back to bed, and all this has just happened in life, but here I am, you know, and this bar closed down, or this place where I had a gig has closed down. Like, it's, yeah.
I wanna sing that rock and roll. I want to electrify my soul. I wanna sing that rock and roll. I've been a traveling near and far, but I wanna lay down my old guitar.
Oh, a little bit harder on the solo now. I see.
I wanna sing that rock and roll. I wanna electrify my soul. 'Cause it
Okay, I want to sing that rock and roll, a little bit of a quicker track, much more of a pop sensibility of a chorus, like in lyricism. But this is fantastic. Yeah, this is fantastic, especially too, really like a fast-paced like song here. Its lyrics sound happy, but there is like a longing with it as well, right? As we know just from the previous song, context from the previous song. right? In a way, is she singing the rock and roll? In the sense of the lyrics, she is saying the rock and roll. She is bringing that energy of the rock and roll. I know I'm just reading into this a little bit too much, but I want to, the energy within of this is my rock and my roll. I don't know.
I was thinking that night about Elvis. Did he die? Did he die? And he shook it like a chorus girl.
Yeah.
And he shook it like a Harlem queen. And he shook it like a midnight ramble, baby. I was thinking that night about Elvis. Did he die? Did he die? That he took it all out of black and white. So let's take. I was thinking that night about Elvis. Did he die? He was all alone in a long decline. Thinking how happy John Henry was that he fell down dying when he shook it and it rang like silver. He shook it and it shined like gold.
You shine like gold. Okay, Elvis Presley blues. Okay, this is, first off, yeah, this is certainly a sad song, but it's a song that, for a good chunk of it too, is deciding. We're going to talk about his legacy, or maybe too in a legacy in the sense of how she would have viewed it, but really mythologizing him. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't just a man. This is really like how I looked at him, how I understood him. And then there is that certain point, right, where it kind of takes it to the reality of like how he would have been feeling, like really been thinking, like first off that he would have been all alone in a long decline, right? Like this wasn't some sort of, like we kind of got a picture there, a little bit more of a picture than just him in his life, but really thinking of that moment. Even though she was saying the day that he died, she didn't fully put you in that position yet, and I think giving you that context of his death first before bringing it to you there was sort of where that impact came from. The gold, which I think is interesting, well, first off, she does say that he shook it and it rang like silver and then shined like gold. I do think coming back to where she was like, oh, is it really gold? Do I shine like gold in heaven? In this sense, she's not even not really fully worrying about that heavenly context, but like thinking about the fact that on this earth, someone as beautiful as Elvis Presley, like what he did for me and for so many people in this world, how could he not shine like gold? How could not these great things exist? You know what I mean? Like this, in a way, is how she got faith. Not like legitimate faith, maybe, I don't know, but faith in life at least, and it was through music. So very nice. Ooh, okay. It's got Fiona Apple-esque. With your love.
There were one, there were two, there were three, there were four, there were 500 miles from their home. God moves on the water, Casey Jones. It was the 14th of April, that is Ruination Day.
Okay, this is pretty awesome, especially too thinking of April the 14th and then Ruination Day, where here, first off, there was like a nostalgic sadness in that first song, but here it really is that sort of like a dark, moody like country, right? Like it was the Ruination Day, you know what I mean? Like So at this point, she's like lost that feeling, but much more of that, like maybe a little bit of an anger in a way. Like, this is really how life is going, which is fun. And she's really trying to harp in that point, like, no, it wasn't this time. It wasn't December, it wasn't May, it was this day. So there is this impact now. Like, maybe things have changed because of this day. That's probably what it is, right? Came in with that feeling, but now this is the feeling that we're leaving April 14th with. I don't know.
Everything is free now. That's what they say. Everything I ever done, gonna give it away. Gas up the car, try to make a little change.
Double entendre there.
Down at the bar, never mind you're working hard. It's who I'm working for.
Nice.
Someone hit the big score. They figured it out.
Feeling like you don't have all these things attached to your life
They were
anymore. That solo and then that the other guitar just kind of having this little like tempo there.
Every day I wake up, I'm in a song, but I don't need to run around. I just stayed home.
Okay, everything is free. I think what's interesting about this track, especially in the sense of at the end, like no one's gonna listen to the words in my head, almost as if she's also saying like a giving up on music. Maybe that's not true in the sense too that she's saying, oh, I'm gonna wake up and write a little love song. She's not saying that she's gonna stop making music for herself, you know what I mean? But she understands that maybe she's at this crossroads in her life where she has this realization of, I don't have to be doing these things. I don't have to be under someone else's rule or feeling pressured to make certain decisions. And I feel like that's why she's trying to say something of, I'm going to do it anyway, even if it doesn't pay. She's going to do whatever she wants. Maybe this music thing too, maybe. Because if she's saying no one's got to listen to it, but she's going to do it anyway as well, right? Or she's doing something anyway. I think it may be the music. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be something that's defined by... Now, I don't think this is specifically what she's saying, but I do think it's like a not defined by capital, right? That's why she's making this situation of like, I can get a tip jar, and like I can just fucking do whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's like everything's free now. Okay, I'm not gonna be under this system of constantly releasing things. I don't know. I'm probably reading into this too much, but let's do the next song. I Dream a Highway.
Dream a highway back to you, love. He's kicking out the footlights. The grand old Opry's got a brand. I lie and wait until the wagons come and dream a highway back to you. An empty wagon full of rattling bones. Mood in the mirror on a 3-hour Joan. I dream a highway back to you. I sent a letter, don't know who I display of the cool cathode
Okay, so
ray.
that's a part of your dreaming of fantasy.
Highway back to you with the staggers and the jazz. I dream the highway back to you. Hang overhead from all directions. Radiation from the porcelain light. Sunday morning at the diner. Hollywood trembles on the verge of tears. I dream
Where did last year's lessons go to? Wow. A highway is usually a long road too, long song. You know, a highway though is still a distance. You're dreaming that there's a distance that you can go and travel. I feel like this starts off really talking about relationships with other people or like along, someone, right? There is always I dream a highway to you, but I do think it becomes more personal, more internalized at a certain point. And I do think, interestingly, like the step into the light, poor Lazarus, speaking earlier on about things that can be bad, but now feeling like the complete wanting everything to be amazing, even the figure of evil himself. You know what I mean? So that's a part of the dream as well. I dream a highway back to you. I dream something to be perfect, thinking of your life as a whole as well. Or of the grand context of life for everyone to kind of be perfect too and have some sort of happy ending. And having that context of dreaming about it, not knowing if you're ever going to make that destination. It's an ambiguous way to end this album, but makes you think about the context of time even better, where it's not really what does kind of end in a way for us, right? But where does it end? When does it end? Why does it end? You know what I mean? These are sort of what's really being brought here in this last song. We're not feeling that ending. We're feeling the waiting or the not seeing the full road, I guess. Not seeing the full road, but, hoping about what's at the end of it. Yeah, this is a fantastic album. 9.5 potentially. Love this. Every song has beautiful, poignant meaning behind it. The instrumentation is always lush, always got that sense of melancholy throughout it. And I was feeling that. I was feeling that swooning feeling with the guitars for sure. And the vocals are absolutely stunning. I'm excited to come back to this because I feel like there's a lot to think about. You know what I mean? In who Gillian Welch is. So, I'll let you know how I feel after a few more spins. Okay, so I've listened to this time, Gillian Welch, a few more times, and the score, it's a 9. This is a fantastic album. 10 tracks flow very nicely into each other thematically. Even on an acoustic level, everything is quite relaxed. But there's always these nice little instrumental, like these solos that kind of carry the emotion of what lyrically is being given to us. And I do think this album starts off really strong, talking about its like sort of existential themes on time, but then kind of blends it into more personal things, sees it more on an aspect of love and an aspect of things that have went wrong in life, specifically maybe this April the 14th day. But this really does feel like a coming to terms with things. Maybe things that definitely have already came to terms with, but
maybe every few years in your life. I'm not sure. I'm pretty fucking young, right? But I don't know if every now and again when things happen, you have an opportunity to look back on your past once more with further knowledge of what you know. And I think there's a lot of nice contextualization too of what she does with her career, or understands how she feels about her music, especially one of the last songs ending here being "Everything Is Free," but then also before that thinking about Elvis Presley, right? Knowing that music is something more than just this art under capitalism, the age of mechanical reproduction, you know. So I think it really proves the sort of emotions and energy and connections that we can all have and share through music, and we can see it past this collection of 10 tracks in a way. And I still really like how this album ends out. A Dream a Highway, 15-minute track, definitely my favorite track on here as well. It's emotionally gutting, it really is. And feeling like, even though I understood this "I Dream a Highway," I was saying yes, personal with relationships. Some of it's a little bit more internalized, but I think it's a way to end an album, for all of us, even listeners, to experience, is that we also are kind of all dreaming our own highway in a way, and this kind of lets us know that, especially too because we are all living under the logic of time. And this is one person's experience under that. Yeah, sorry, I got way too deep for it, but this is fantastic. Love it, love it. If there's anything else you want to see me react to, anything at all, just put a comment down below, and thank you for watching. Peace.